Good morning, students. Today, in this class of English language subject of the topic direct and indirect speech, I will explain you the rules of changing direct speech into indirect speech. So let's begin. First rule states that simple present is changed into simple past. That means do changes to did. Now let's take an example. The priest said, I go to the temple. Now it is the direct speech. Now when we change this direct speech into indirect speech, it will become the priest said that he went to the temple. This is the indirect speech. Now let's see. In this example, the simple present go has been changed to simple past went. Moving further to the second rule, present continuous is changed into past continuous. That means is, am, are changes to was, were. Now let's take an example to understand this. Ram said, my uncle is writing letters. Now this is direct speech. Now when we change this direct speech into indirect speech, it will be Ram said that his uncle was writing letters. So in this example we see that the present continuous is has been changed to past continuous was. Rule number 3, present perfect is changed into past perfect. That means has or have changes to had. Now let's take an example to understand this. Sam said, I have passed the examination. Now, it is in direct speech. When we change this sentence from direct speech to indirect speech, it becomes Sam said that he had passed the examination. Now here we can notice that have, that is the present perfect tense, has been changed to had, that is the past perfect tense form. Rule 4. Simple past is changed into past perfect. That means did changes to had done. Now let's take an example. He said, the dog died in the night. This is the direct speech. Now, when we change this direct speech into indirect speech, then it is, he said that the dog had died in the night. Now, here we can see that simple past, that is died, changes to had died. That is the past perfect form. Rule 5. Past perfect remains unchanged. That means had done remains had done. Now let's take an example to understand this. Rajesh said mother had kept the bread in the box. It is a direct speech. Now when we change this direct speech into indirect speech, it becomes Rajesh said that mother had kept the bread in the box. So here we can clearly see that the past perfect had kept has remained unchanged in the indirect speech also. That means there is no change. Rule number 6. Shall, will is changed to would. May is changed to might. Can is changed to could. Now let's take an example. Rohit said Sunil can play well. Now it is in direct speech form, and when we change it into indirect form, it becomes Rohit said that Sunil could play well. So here we can clearly notice that can has been changed to could, and if it was may will be changed to might, and if it was shall or will, it would have been changed to would. Rule number 7. In case the reporting verb is in the present or future tense, the tense of the verb remains unchanged. So let's take an example to understand it. He says, apples are good for health. It is in direct speech. Now here says, he says, it is, the reporting verb is in present tense form. So when we change this direct speech into indirect speech form, it becomes, he says that apples are good for health. Now here we can clearly see that says is the present tense form, so the direct speech will not change. It will remain same. Apples are good for health, and in indirect speech also the content is same, that the apples are good for health. There is no change. Now there are certain exceptions to the rule to change the tense. Let's see those exceptions. The tense remains unchanged if the reporting verb or direct speech expresses a universal truth, a proverb, a scientific fact, or a habitual fact. Now let's take an example to see this. The nurse said all mothers love their children. It is in direct speech form and it expresses universal truth. So in indirect speech it will remain unchanged. The nurse said that all mothers love their children. I hope students, now all the rules are clear to you.